up the iMacs in i2 digital photography. So we'll go through a few basic things here. First things first, I'm kind of old school. I like to see the actual hard drive here. There's other ways to access files that are on the hard drive, but if you like to have the hard drive, and I will be referring to it, what you need to do is click on Finder here, Preferences. If Finder's not showing, then just click on the background and the Finder will show there. Preferences, so that's the Finder preferences. This right here turns off and on. Let me move this over here so you can see. Here's the Mac hard drive, so that turns it visibly off or on. I like to be able to see that. External discs, that's when you plug in your SD card, so you need to be able to see that. CDs, DVDs, iPods, that doesn't matter so much. That could be off or on. It probably will never come into play. Connected servers, we're not connecting to a server, so it doesn't matter if you can see them or not, since we're not connecting to them. Sidebar is another important one. Sidebar is what shows up in the side of the window, the sidebar of the window. So all of these things right here, you can turn some of them off or on. AirDrop, that can be off or on, whether you want that visible or not. I would say you definitely want downloads visible, documents visible, and maybe even pictures, because this is digital photography after all. Locations, definitely hard disk, definitely external disk. That's your SD card when you plug it in. CDs, DVDs, iOS devices, not necessary unless you're going to be connecting your device to hit this computer. iCloud storage, I don't use iCloud so much, so that's off. On your computers is off. Connected servers, again, that probably can be off. Those are the main things. There's other stuff that are not as important. There's tags, that's the color of things, that's also available right there. So those are in the Finder preferences. The next thing is under the Apple, going to System Preferences. Things that are important there are how your mouse functions. When you click on the mouse here, I find it really handy to have what's called a right click or a secondary click. That means when you click on the right side of your mouse versus the left side's here, the right side's there, right side versus left side, it works as two different things. If you turn that off, then to activate the right click things, you have to hold down Control on the keyboard. So Control click or right click, same concept. So I right click to bring up some alternative windows like this right here. That's how that comes up. Other things useful in, let's go back to the mouse. Tracking speed right here. I like a fairly fast mouse, so tracking speed, that's how fast it follows you. That is the most important things in there. Now I'm going to be talking about this thing here called the dock. We'll put applications down here that we frequently use. The applications generally, or one way, the old school way, is accessing them through the Mac HD, through the hard drive. These are applications here. I'm going to list it as a list because then we can see the Adobe products right there. These are what we'll be using in this class. Adobe Bridge. Don't actually move it out of here. If you move it from here onto the desktop, well, desktop, that little thing means it is a link, not really the file. If you move the file to a different folder, then it won't work because it needs to be next to all of these folders to work. But certain locations, apparently, like the desktop or the dock, it's going to put a link to it. So I'm going to put a link down here. It is called a shortcut or a link, and it will link to the original file up there or application. You need to leave the application here, and the quick access is right there. So Bridge is useful to have down there. Lightroom is useful to have down there. And Photoshop is useful to have down there. So these are three products that we will be using in this class. If one of these Adobe products goes through an automatic update over the weekend or something, then this link will show up with a question mark, meaning it doesn't work because the old one is gone. It's been replaced with the new one. So you have to go to right click and say remove from dock on the one with the question mark, and then replace it with the new one, which is going to be stored in applications. So that's the process of that. I'm using the right click to bring this up. If you did not enable right click, you have to hit control click to be able to remove things from the dock. And right click or control click to empty the trash can. Yes, I do want to empty the trash can. So you want those Adobe products on the dock. You can add and remove to the dock and customize it. And then you also need to create your own personal folder on this computer, and that's where you're going to store everything. Maybe you want it in documents, maybe you want it in pictures. To me, it makes sense to have it in pictures since it's going to be mostly pictures or photographs. So you're going to create a folder here, and you'll put your name on it. And then we'll have a number of different things in there. That is how you're going to set up your computer in this class.